All right, welcome to the podcast, everyone. So thankful that you've joined us here on The Pursuit. We are privileged that you are here, and I just want to quick remind you that if you find these moments together beneficial, inspiring, resourceful, that you would make sure that you would share this with someone, ask them to subscribe. We want to be a blessing. We want to be an equipping point for people that we all would eventually come to the place that we find ourselves in continual pursuit of not only our Creator, but of the potential and purpose that is resident within each and every one of our lives. And so today, I am going to begin, or I'm actually maybe continue from a recent podcast episode, and then over the course of the next few, I'm going to be dealing with. This is something that is very close to me, something I live, something I look to impart, but most certainly something that is back at the forefront of what I am doing, talking about, leading, coaching, mentoring, etc. But really, it is discipleship. And so today, I want to talk to you about the call to discipleship. And really, I want to begin with a verse of Scripture found in Matthew, the 4th chapter, verse 19. And the Scripture goes this way, and really it's the capturing of a statement that Christ made to some of his soon-to-be disciples. So Matthew chapter 4, verse 19, it says, "And he saith unto them, Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." Now, imagine, if you would, for just a moment, that you're standing on the shoreline, and you've been casting your nets into the sea for the 100th time that day. The sun it's relentless. It's baking you, and your muscles are aching from the laborious work of throwing the net into the sea and pulling the net out, and your mind is preoccupied with thoughts of your livelihood and what are we catching, what are we not catching, and how are we going to supply for our families. And suddenly a voice pierces through the mundane of what you've been doing, and you hear, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." That moment wasn't, for these men, just about leaving boats and nets behind. It was about stepping into a calling that would alter the course of human history. Discipleship it's that same call that was extended in that moment. It's the same call that's extended to us today. You have to realize it's more than attending church, some religious group. It's more than agreeing with certain teachings, certain doctrines. It's a radical decision to follow Jesus Christ, to be transformed by him, and to join his mission to reach others. And so today, I want us to consider three essential elements of true discipleship. And these are as follows. Number one, it's the element of follow, or if you will, answering the call. It's two, about becoming or being transformed. And then lastly, it's multiply. It's about reaching others. And so by the end of our time today, I hope that you'll see discipleship is not an obligation, but you'll see it as a privilege and a purpose that shapes every area of your life. And so I want to focus on the first essential, and it's that of follow. And so the call to follow Christ. And so again, Christ extends that invitation to those fishermen. Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. Discipleship begins with a simple yet life-altering invitation. Follow me. Jesus didn't say, believe in me from a distance or observe me whenever it's convenient for you. He said, follow me. This call requires surrender. When Peter, James, and John heard Jesus' call, they didn't just rearrange their schedules. They left their boats. They left their livelihood, their comfort zones. Ultimately, they left what was their identity. Following Jesus requires surrendering control and trusting him with every step. The call requires relationship. In Mark's Gospel, chapter 3 and verse 14, it tells us that Jesus chose the 12, and this is the statement, that they might be with him. Discipleship starts with being with Jesus. Prayer, the scripture, worship, and simply learning to walk in his presence. That is fulfilling that we might be with him. And so, question for your consideration today would be, are you following Jesus fully, or are you simply admiring him from a distance? Okay, before that causes us too much consternation, let's go to the second essential, and that is of become. It's the transformation of an individual or a disciple. In Romans chapter 12, verse 2, the Apostle Paul writes, and he says, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Jesus doesn't simply invite us to follow him. He promises to make us into something we could never become on our own. I will make you fishers of men. You see, transformation is God's work, coupled with our surrender. Discipleship isn't self-improvement. Rather, it's divine transformation. As we follow him, his Spirit reshapes our minds, our hearts, and our habits. But transformation, it requires consistency. True discipleship requires consistent spiritual disciplines like prayer, like Bible study, fasting, and ultimately, yes, fellowship with other believers. So for a practical application, we must get to the place that we ask God daily, what do you want to teach me today? And we stay connected to fellow believers who will challenge and encourage us. This is the accountability that we ultimately need for growth. This is how, if you will, the spiritual metrics in our life are able to be seen and to be known as to whether or not we are making the progress that we desire, and ultimately that God is calling us to, that he's doing a work in us of transformation. Okay, third essential, which is multiply. That's the mission of a disciple. Matthew chapter 28:19, very familiar passage of Scripture, both 19 through 20. But here's the statement within that. Go ye therefore and teach all nations. The call to discipleship isn't just about personal growth. I would say this today, that our world has become very in focus. It's very me-centric. What's in it for me? What do I stand to gain from this? How am I benefited from this? How is my future and my fulfillment leveraged by this? The call to discipleship isn't just about personal growth, but rather it's about multiplying that growth in other people. Jesus didn't say, "Follow me and I'll make you comfortable Christians." He said he would make us into fishers of men. So here's a revelatory key principle for you. Disciples make disciples. Sometimes that might cause us to feel slightly indicted. Disciples make disciples. Paul wrote to his disciple, we call him his son in the gospel, but it's found in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2, that we should be taking the things that have been impressed into our lives, invested into our lives, the things we've heard, the things we've seen, the things we've learned, that now what we've learned should be entrusted to others who would then teach others also. It's multiplication. It's moving from me to somebody else to others. Realize that discipleship happens in our everyday. You don't need a microphone or a ministry title to make disciples. Too many people oftentimes feel like the people with the microphone are the people that have finally stepped into the place where they're being fulfilled and they're actually doing the most work that is advantageous for the kingdom. But please realize, a title is not the thing that determines whether or not you're qualified to make a disciple. A microphone is not a needed tool in your tool set to make disciples. Discipleship happens in everyday life. It happens over a cup of coffee. It happens in conversations with your children. It happens in moments when you share how Jesus is transforming your life. So I'll tell you what, how about I'm going to give you a practical application. Identify one person this week that you could walk alongside of spiritually. And let me give you something easy. Pray with them. Be intentional, pray with them. Maybe study some scripture together. But ultimately, as you begin walking with them, model a life of following Jesus Christ. That's what the Apostle Paul said. Follow me as I follow Christ, or imitate me as I imitate Christ. That's true discipleship. The big question for us, and this is the question I ask myself oftentimes, if somebody were to follow me all of their life, would they find themselves standing before the Lord on Judgment Day, hearing, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant"? It's that thought that causes me to check where my life is measuring up. Am I surrendered to Christ? Am I walking in obedience to Christ? Am I truly following Christ? Am I a disciple of Christ? Okay, so I know I've laid a lot on you. I feel like I'm preaching a little bit today. I'm excited because I believe that if we get these things in our life, if we begin to do these things, not only will we find ourselves walking and living a life of greater fulfillment, but we'll see that same result in the lives of those that we are investing in, those that we are discipling. So today, as I get ready to wrap up this episode, understand that the call to discipleship is not a call that's coming in the future. It's not a call that was given to a select few a few thousand years ago. It's not a call that was given to a previous generation. It's not a call that's given to only a select, highly spiritual, religious people. Understand the call is right now. It's to you. It's to me. Jesus is still calling today, follow me. The question is not whether or not he's calling. It's whether or not we are responding. So realize, discipleship is about following Christ with a surrendered heart, becoming more like him every day, and multiplying his work by leading others to do the same. Would you be bold enough to say, Lord, I want to be a true disciple? Would you be bold enough to say that? Would you be bold enough to pray that? Would you be bold enough to declare, I am going to be a true disciple of Jesus Christ? I want you to realize this is exactly why this podcast exists. To support you in your continued pursuit. So, I say this, if you are ready to step beyond casual Christianity into the transformative journey of discipleship, I want you to know that this would please God. And I want you to know that we here at The Pursuit stand ready to walk alongside you, to support you, to cheer you on, and ultimately to celebrate in your victory, in your accomplishment, and in the fulfillment of you as an individual pursuing Christ as his disciple. Again, I want to say thank you for joining us here on the podcast. I look forward to connecting with you again in the very near future, and I pray that you would realize that you are valued, you are cherished. God looks upon you with great love and desires to use you today to be a voice for this generation and to be a leader that leads others, that they too might also find their way in the journey of pursuing their Creator. God bless you. We look forward to seeing you next time right here on The Pursuit.